Welcome to INDO Global. Pakistani Special Forces raided a police station in the far northwestern district on Tuesday, overpowering guards, seizing weapons, and killing all the Pakistani Taliban militants who had been held hostage at the facility earlier this week, officials said. The country's defense minister said that the terrorists had killed 2 hostages before the rescue operation. According to security and intelligence officials, the rapid operation was successful. Still, it was not immediately clear how many Taliban were killed, or how many officials were held hostage in the Banu center in Khyber Pakhtunkhwa province after Sunday's daring capture. Officials declined to elaborate or provide details on the operation after more than 40 hours of talks with the Pakistani Taliban failed. On Monday, an officer was killed at the Banu counterterrorism center when Taliban detainees seized the facility, officials said. Defense Minister Khawaja Mohammad Asif said in Parliament that the militants killed 2 hostages and the rest were released. Asif said 15 security forces were injured in Tuesday's operation. He did not say exactly how many hostages had been freed or how many hostages had been killed by security forces. Earlier, the Taliban claimed to have captured at least 8 security personnel. Earlier, around 30 Taliban fighters were involved and they demanded safe passage to the militant group's former strongholds, officials said. 7 members of the special forces who participated in the operation were injured, 3 army and police officials said. Muhammad Ali Saif, a government spokesman in Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, said the Taliban hostages were offered to surrender before the attack but refused. Thick black smoke billowed into the sky from inside the compound after 2 explosions were heard as the attack took place on Tuesday. Officials said intermittent gunfire echoed across the area for 2 hours. All officials spoke to the Associated Press on condition of anonymity to discuss the ongoing situation. No military or government spokesman was immediately available for comment. Sunday's brazen takeover of the police station reflects the Pakistani government's long-standing inability to control the remote region along the border with Afghanistan. The Pakistani Taliban, also known as Tehrik-e-Taliban Pakistan or TTP, is separate but allied with the Afghan Taliban, who seized power in neighboring Afghanistan last year as US and NATO forces withdraw from the country in the final weeks of a 20-year war. On Monday, TTP spokesman Mohammad Khurasani demanded the safe passage of the hostages to either North or South Waziristan, a Taliban stronghold, until a wave of military offensives drove out many insurgents in the past years. Since then, top TTP leaders and fighters have gone into hiding in Afghanistan, although the militants still have relatively free rein in patches of the province. Emboldened by the capture of Afghanistan by their allies, the Afghan Taliban, TTP militants have stepped up attacks on Pakistani security forces and ended a month-long ceasefire with the government last month. The violence has strained relations between Pakistan and Afghanistan's Taliban rulers, who brokered a truce in May. The TTP has waged an insurgency in Pakistan over the past 15 years, fighting for stricter enforcement of Islamic laws in the country, releasing its members in government custody, and reducing Pakistani military presence in the country's former tribal areas. Subscribe for international news and don't forget to press the bell icon.